the match that I was looking forward to the most, but I gave Bailey and Mustafa Ali, and I gave the entire company, specifically Tommy Dreamer and Delirious, and I was going to say Tommy Dreamer and Delirious, the two creative guys. I gave them a stark warning because I saw this coming. I saw it coming at Against All Odds. Mustafa Ali at Against All Odds started using the sharpshooter. And I was like, okay, I know what he's doing. He's setting up for the Montreal Screwjob. They're gonna try to incorporate that in the match somehow. And then sure enough, a couple weeks after that, and I took the, like, for my Against All Odds review, go back and listen to it and go back and watch it. I even think I clipped that part of it. I said, I'm going to give you guys a warning. Don't reference the Montreal Screwjob. It's cheap. It's lazy. You're better than that. So don't do it. Just don't fucking do it. It's stupid. It has no place in wrestling anymore. It's over with. It was 30 years ago. Don't do it anymore. Okay. It's been done. And not only is it 30 years, like almost 30 years ago. Well, you know, like whatever, 25, whatever years ago. It's been done to death since then. WWE's done it several times. TNA has done this several times. There's no need to do this anymore. It's dumb. Like, that can't be all that Montreal is known for. That one moment in time. Like, they've already rehashed it. Like, we can just move on. So we don't need to go there. And so I said the fucking warning to them. Like, don't do it. You're going to embarrass yourself. Okay. And then, of course, 2 weeks ago on Impact, Mustafa Ali has Trent Seven in the sharpshooter. And he's facing down Ali. And I thought it was a great angle. And I was like, again, I took this where I was like, don't do this. You're better than this. It's embarrassing if you do this. Don't go to the Montreal Screwjob well. The only reason why you would do it is because you've run out of ideas. Because you don't know what you're doing. And then I took to Twitter today because I heard that Earl Hebner was going to be. I saw it over a month ago. I saw it. I saw that, and then Sean Ross Sapp reports that Earl Hebner was there. I was like, they're going to fucking do it. It's like, they just can't help themselves. They have no ideas. They're lazy, and they're losers. That creative team is not good. They have really good wrestlers. They have bad creative. So, and then, of course, they're having an amazing match. Like, legitimately match of the night. And Speedball gets the ultimate weapon, goes for the pin, gets the 3 count, but the foot's on the rope. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, that was a good, I thought that was a pretty good false finish. It's like, oh, okay. Well, like now we're cooking. What's going to happen next? And then, of course, Speedball accidentally kicks the referee and knocks him out. I was like, fucking Earl Hebner's going to come down, isn't he? Earl Hebner's going to come down. And they're going to do the Montreal Screwjob. And then, sure enough, here comes Earl Hebner walking to the ring like he's fucking Joe Biden, like next to death. And just taking his sweet ass time. I feel bad for Earl, legendary referee. But he's coming down, and the crowd goes, like, starts booing him. And I was like, oh no, God, they're going to do it. And he came into the ring, and then immediately Mustafa Ali puts him in the sharpshooter. I think actually before that, all the Secret Service, which I think TNA is playing with fire by beating up Secret Service members right now, given what happened last Saturday. I don't know that that's the smartest thing that they could be doing, given our wild political climate. But hey, they got balls, man. I'll give them that. They're sticking with beating up on Secret Service personnel. I think Congress is going to do some of that on Monday. But so I think he beat up the Secret Service, and then Earl Hebner did the deal. He comes down, and I think at one point the Riot Squad was going to get involved, and then Riot Squad member took off his helmet, and it turned out to be Trent Seven. So Trent Seven, goes apeshit. I think that actually got a good pop. And then Speedball Bailey eventually gets his own version of the sharpshooter, which I think we have to question whether or not he's actually Canadian with how bad that sharpshooter was. He just did it backwards. It just, not only were the legs not right, he turned them the wrong way. Like it was not a very good sharpshooter. And then Mustafa Ali, to his credit, who has not jobbed since he's been a free agent. This is the first time he's lost like a legitimate match since he's been a free agent, tapped out clean in the middle. I say I look, the match would have been so much better without the Earl Hebner stuff. We just didn't need it. We didn't need to go there. It was stupid. That said, I still think it was a pretty awesome match. And I would probably say it was probably my favorite match of the night. But Joe G, cousin Joe, says if it would have ended at the pin, it would have been my favorite Ali match of all time. I am with you there. I did think that the false finish there was pretty good, but as soon as it happened, I knew where they were going. I was like, come on. Like you guys, they're just out of ideas. They are literally out of ideas. But Io says it was the Montreal redemption for Earl. They've already done that storyline. They've already done, like, he did another screw job in TNA, and then they brought him back like a week later. Like he did another screw job in like 2011. Like he's done that several times. Like this has already happened. We don't need to keep going there. It's so stupid. Steezy said the match was cool and all, but there was so much unnecessary bullshit in it. Yeah, absolutely. Jen, I think you missed the beginning of the show. I actually started off with the main event. Jen says, why did Nick Nemeth win the title? I wanted Joe Hendry to win. Yeah. Yeah, I think everybody's just as puzzled as you as to what the deal is there. I have no idea why that was happening. Billy says, this is my favorite match because I'm constantly amazed at how great Speedball is. He's so smooth and everything he does looks great. And Ollie could kept up with him. I want them to do that match again, but without all the gaga and the bullshit. Like, just let the guys go. Like, say, hey, look, you got a half an hour. Here's who's winning. You guys figure it out. Tear the house down. That's what I want to see out of these two guys. But they just couldn't help themselves. They had to do gaga. They got to do the stupid shit. Like, they're unapologetically TNA at times. Oh, hold on here. Hold on here. We have a hater in the house. We got a full-blown hater. King of the North says, Mike, I'm here. Caught the last 3 matches, seemed like a hot house. Wait a minute, is that a compliment of TNA? Hold on, King of the North. And he says, congrats to TNA for the success. Somebody go to Canada and check on the King. I think something might be wrong with the King. Dude, it was. I'll be honest. I'll be honest. I really enjoyed the show. I thought the booking of the main event was weird, and it left me with more questions than answers. And I felt like it was overbooked and just didn't need to go there. I also felt that way for the semi-main event. But I can't complain about the quality of the match. I thought the work in the matches and like the crowd heat was off the charts, and it was the whole thing was fun. It really was fun. It really was. But yeah, they had an amazing house, 4,000 people strong. Production snafus early on, but they got it together eventually. And I think it's going to go down as one of the really good pay-per-views of all time and kind of a landmark show for the company. Is having Nemeth the champion going to grow the company? I don't know that. I don't know if him being the champion is going to bring people in, because as I said earlier, you want to widen the tent, you know what I mean, and let more people in. I don't know that Nick Nemeth does that. I don't. I thought building Joe Hendry for a chase to Bound for Glory over a heel Moose was the way to go. And then when they turned Josh Alexander, I thought, okay, this makes sense. They should turn Josh. He should now that he's turned in the match, he should win the world title. And that's who Joe Hendry goes to face at Bound for Glory. And then he immediately lost. And then we went with another babyface. So now I don't know what to think. So it's like they're taking all these steps forward, but they still took some steps back in my eyes. Now I could be totally misreading the importance of Nick Nemeth to this company. I could be misreading it. I just don't see him being their world champion and doing business. I could be wrong. Could be wrong. David Jackson's getting heat, man. He said Bret Hart is a big crybaby. Wanted to leave WWE with a belt. Give me a break. He wouldn't drop it. Okay, David. First of all, Bret Hart, top 5 greatest wrestler of all time. 100%. And it wasn't that he didn't want to. He was willing to drop the title in WWE. He just didn't want to drop the Shawn Michaels. Because Shawn Michaels came to him and said, I wouldn't do the same for you. So he's like, fuck this guy. I'm not dropping the belt to this guy. This guy's an asshole. Now, they're friends now. But I think everybody was on the same page. Like, no. Like, I'll be honest. If you go to CM Punk, right, and say, hey, look, I'm not going to drop my belt to you, but I think you should drop it to me. He's going to say, go fuck yourself. And people that take themselves seriously and are proud of themselves and take their business seriously, they're going to have the same opinion. You can't go to somebody like that and say, hey, look, I wouldn't do the same for you, and then expect them to show you respect later. That's just not going to happen. So Bret Hart was well within his rights. He agreed to lose the title the very next night. He agreed to lose it in all these different ways. They wouldn't agree with him. The Montreal Screwjob is dead and buried. Bret was right. It ended up turning into big business for WWE, though. Billy says, I think Nemeth was playing as champ in January. You know, it seemed like they were going to go with him, but when he lost the Rebellion, it's like, okay, maybe they're doing a 1-year story arc. But then they just did it here. I think a lot of changes have happened since April. And I think they're booking on the fly right now. I don't know that they have long-term booking plans. King says, I thought they should put the belt on Frankie and then Joe Henry beats him in the UK. I just don't think you want to put the belt on Frankie. I don't think he'd be a very good champion. And I think he's a great wrestler. But I just don't think that's like the face of your company for any amount of time. He's a mid-carder. He's very good. Like, don't get me wrong, he's an excellent wrestler. I think he's amazing, actually. And I think that Joe Hendry and Frankie could actually, like, I think Frankie could get a good match out of Hendry. Because Hendry is very over, but he's over when the entrance, and he's over walking into the ring, and he's over doing certain moves. But in between those moves, you can tell he's still working his game out a little bit. He's not at the level of a Frankie or Steve Macklin or even Moose, really, or a lot of, like, everybody else in that match. As far as like skill level, he was probably at the bottom, but he was the most over. But because he's over, those guys are going to work hard to keep him over. And I think he'll improve. I really do. I think he's going to improve because he's going to be working with better guys going forward, and longer matches. He's going to be put in a bigger spotlight. I would like to see them go at it like on a TNA Plus special or something like that, but not. I just don't think you put the world title on Frankie. That's my opinion. Let's see. All right, we're going to close this thing out here pretty soon. So I'm going to get to a couple more of your chats here. Give all these Speedball rematch the MJF Ospreay treatment for an episode of Impact. I think that's a great idea. And they did that one time with Josh and Speedball. And while I thought the match was a bit overrated, I still thought it was a very good match. Let's see. Roy says if they can get the KOs and X Division figured out, those steps would be in the right direction. Yeah. Talent doesn't grow on trees, though, unfortunately, and they're trying, though. Off topic from this show, more about the future of TNA and its ability to tape shows or do a live weekly show. If WWE TNA partnership will continue, why not tape on Thursdays at the PC? They're friends, but I don't think they're that close. It's like to where, like, if they did, WWE would want you to pay for that. They're not just going to let you do it. So if they can work out a deal and a financial thing, but what you also don't want to do is have your show look too much like NXT. You want to have your own identity, which is why I think they're still, I still think they're going to try to go to Full Sail. I think that's the end goal. When I first heard it, it sounded like crazy. And then I had some people ask around about it. And I don't think that's that crazy of a proposition. And in fact, I kind of almost expect it to come this fall. So as you can tell, they have not announced the BFG location, but they did announce Turning Point, but they have not announced TV tapings between September and November. So I think that come like sometime October, we'll probably see something like maybe like after Bound for Glory. I think after Bound for, like, they do Bound for Glory and then they come back and then they start going live on Thursdays. That is my guess. And hopefully on a new channel. I don't know. I don't have any inside info on that, but hopefully on a new channel, because they got people in the company now that actually want to be on a new channel. Jansen says Nemeth is a face and Hendry is a face. How will Hendry get the win then? Frankie is a main eventer. I remember when he was a star in Zorro and Spy Kids. It was he Antonio Banderas. But well, I mean they can hot potato the title and get the title over to Josh somehow. Because I think it's possible they put the belt on Nemeth just to send the crowd home happy because they didn't want a heel to win. And if that's the case, they could have done this. They could have just had Speedball and Mike and Mustafa Ali as the main event, like I've been saying the whole time. And I think that's what they should have done. I think they could insulate Frankie enough, and he's got company tenure to warrant it. You know what? You might be onto something there. Dan says like it's a weird title change. Just do Moose and Hendry. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Do Moose and Hendry Bound for Glory. Io says I think Steph proposed to PCO after the match. Yeah, she sure did. All right, everything pro wrestling. Don't forget to hit that like button. Yes, hit the like button. Make sure you're a subscriber to the channel and head over to patreon.com/The Mike and JD Show. If you want this week's Impact review, my Impact reaction for the Go Home show, it's exclusive to the Patreon this week because I gave the YouTube an exclusive pay-per-view review. So I'm keeping the Impact show, the weekly Impact show, keeping it straight for Patreon. So that's not going to get clipped. All righty. All right. We're going to close this out. I'm going to try to get to the rest of your chats. Let's try to close this bad boy out here soon. All right. We have a TNA wrestling wedding coming. Yeah. Here, I think they're taping it in Montreal tomorrow night. They actually gave people cards. Let's see. Hold on. King, WWE doesn't get anything out of letting TNA tape at the PC. Yeah, I agree, but here's one thing they could get out of it. Endeavor, WWE's parent company, runs TNA's app. So the better the app does, and right now TNA is on the app. You can watch it live not live, but live, like at the same time as it's on Access. You can watch it on the app, and I think the app is growing every month. They appear. I know for a fact, if I have friends that have friends, and I just know that they're very happy with the app numbers right now, TNA Plus. And so that is something that could be helpful, but I just don't see it. It doesn't make a ton of sense to me. And so King says, yeah, the Full Sail idea is much better. Yeah. And I like Collision being in Arlington. I think they should just stay there because they're touring around and they're working these big buildings and these empty arenas, and it just doesn't look good. So just go to like the small arena and, save some money and tape every week. Steves, he said, BFG at the Palms confirmed. Is that true, or are you fucking with me? I could see that. I could absolutely see that. Them going right back to the Palms because they couldn't get the deal done in the UK. Let's see. All right, two more chats. King says I will not be watching PCO versus Top Dollar. Dude, it was fun. It was fun, man. It was fun. That's all I'm gonna say. Dobby says TNA going to Cleveland in September for Victory Road. Now the hometown guy, Nemeth, is coming home as the world champ. If he still has the belt by then, you know what? That is an angle. I honestly didn't put that together. So I think that is a good way to close. Hold on. Stevesy's totally fucking with me. All right, you asshole. Nah. I think that's a good way to close out the episode tonight. So thank you, Dobby. Everybody head over to patreon.com/The Mike and JD Show. You can get more of this content. All of my TNA content goes straight to the Patreon, and then I do clip it for this YouTube. So make sure you're a subscriber to this channel. Hit the like button, and if you're not watching live, throw down a comment. Let me know what you think of the show. Share it with all your friends. I would greatly appreciate it. And thanks to everybody that was in the chat tonight. I greatly appreciate you guys. You all are my homies for life. But that's going to do it for me this week. And until next time, mahalo.